while saying that new regulations now are prescribing isolator not only for containment purpose but also for generic.
Hello everybody, welcome to Hello Pharma Explore, a learning and knowledge sharing platform for the pharmaceutical industry. This episode we feature Filippo Parini, sales manager from Steriline. He takes care of sales in Italy and heads the commercial team for Steriline Asia. Filippo here is to discuss crucial aspect of aseptic processing, including regulations, innovations and future trends. Thank you Filippo for being with us and welcome to Hello Pharma Explore.
Thank you. Good morning.
Very good morning. To start with, everyone is talking about the new Annex 1, a document that encompasses all the norms and rules for aseptic production. Can you elaborate on what the content of this document entails and how the pharmaceutical industry can respond to these regulations?
The new Annex 1 outlines all the regulations and these standards for the aseptic processing. So the core of this regulation is the contamination control strategy. That basically is the strategy that a pharmaceutical company has to adopt in order to reduce as much as possible the contamination of an aseptic product. Okay. So this document focuses on reducing human intervention through advanced technology and automation, and recommends on top of that the use of isolator systems. So these two parameters and these two technologies would help in reducing the contamination of the product and would ensure the maximum protection against contamination.
So what are these key regulations and standards prescribed by the new Annex 1? And why is there a strong focus on reducing human intervention?
See, the reason is quite simple because it is well known that in aseptic processing, the human intervention is the first source of contamination of the product. So it is not surprising that Annex 1 prescribes to reduce or even eliminate the human intervention whenever is possible. These, of course, can be done adopting automated system, robotic systems on top of that. And again, in the process, it is a must to reduce the human intervention as much as possible to protect the product sterility.
You had mentioned something about robotics playing a very important role in the overall process. How, according to you, are automation and robotics shaping the future of aseptic processing?
For sure, robots will be the core of this change, simply because robots are giving us the flexibility to replicate the human being in different way. And so basically all the operations that were manual in the past can be now automated. I mean to say that robots can perform the filling, the stoppering, the capping of a vial, or maybe the sampling and all other operations.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, when we talk about maintaining the sterility in aseptic processes, how do isolators and restricted access barrier systems specifically contribute to achieving that?
Yeah, once again, it is quite simple concept in the sense that isolator and ORABs are basically a physical barrier that is isolating the product from the human. So once again, they contribute in controlling the contamination risk.
And now, with the adoption of these advanced strategies, what according to you are the skill sets that becomes increasingly important for the pharmaceutical workforce?
Yeah, the shift towards automated and high-tech processes for sure will require new labor skills, and in particular I would say that this will be technical expertise, so in robotics and automation like mechatronics engineers and so on, but also people that will be very skilled in system management and data analytics.
Okay, now can you deep dive into isolator technology, especially now that regulator bodies are recommending it even for generic and biological production?
Isolator technology originally was used in order to perform the containment of potent drug. And you are right while saying that new regulations now are prescribing isolator not only for containment purpose, but also for generic production and biological production. So basically, this is a big shift regards the past experience that we had. And this big shift guided vendors and players in the market to move towards isolators, even if containment is not required anymore. To do so, a new technology has been developed, and the new technology is Doublewall Isolator.
When you talk about isolator technology, what exactly are Doublewall isolators? And how are they different from traditional isolators?
Yeah, basically in terms of performances, double wall isolators are exactly the same as single wall isolators. So basically these are technologies that are granting the sterility and the containment of the drug itself. By the way, from a technical point of view, they are a simplified version of a traditional isolator. And of course, simplifying the design of the technology helps manufacturer like Steriline in reducing the cost associated with this technology. Basically, the main difference between these two technologies is that single wall isolator use external ducts in order to exhaust or recirculate the air, while double wall isolators are using a gap between the two walls of the isolator itself in order to exhaust or recirculate the air.
Well, with all of it that been mentioned right now by you, Filippo, I'm curious about the practical aspects of this. How do double wall isolators contribute to the overall cost effectiveness and regulatory compliance in pharmaceutical manufacturing?
The double wall isolator ensure a highly controlled sterile environment like single wall isolators are doing. And on top of that, with their linear layout and cleaner layout, they are helping the operators to carry out the manual operation that has to be done on the isolator. On top of that, we have to keep in mind that isolator system, both single wall and double wall, are giving the possibility to decontaminate the isolator itself with an automated VHP cycle.
So Filippo, you spoke about the EMA, FDA and other authorities, right? So how do players like Steriline actually interact with the regulatory authorities?
Basically, the answer to this question is quite simple and can be summed up in one word, that is quality by design approach. So basically, players like Steriline are using this systematic approach in order to build new technologies, keeping in mind that this technology will have to be compliant with some quality level that is given by Annex 1. So the idea is to build new technologies according to the quality. So quality is the drive. Players like Steriline collaborate closely with regulatory bodies. This is to develop technologies that will be compliant with quality standards that are given by Annex 1, so by the regulations. And it is our job to make these solutions as smart and as affordable as possible for the pharma industry. So basically there is a loop between players like Steriline, so machine manufacturer, pharmaceutical companies that are the clients, and these bodies, so FDA, EMA, and this closed loop leads to the birth of a new technology.
Okay, we spoke about technologies, innovations, compliances, regulatory bodies. What, according to you, Filippo, are the emerging trends in packaging materials and design for aseptically processed products?
The emerging trends in packaging materials are for sure tied up with the huge request of self-injection devices. So basically, this demand is driven by several factors. First of all, self-injection devices allow the patient to administer a certain drug himself, so without going to a medication center like an hospital, for example. And this convenience is, particularly appealing for maintaining chronic diseases, for example, diabetes. Secondly, you shall consider that in the recent past, we could see an improvement in the self-injection devices quality that are now patient-friendly and very easy to use. So people are feeling comfortable in administering drugs by themselves. On top of that, the technological improvement made in this kind of containers, so self-injection devices, so PFS, cartridges, and whatever, are now leading to a wide portfolio of different containers. So these kind of self-injection devices can be used to treat so many health issues with respect to the past. On top of that, we have to keep in mind that unfortunately the rise of chronic disease is increasing a lot. These for many factors, but on top of all, we must consider that the average age of the worldwide population is increasing on a daily basis. Let us take as an example the type 2 diabetes. Okay. This chronic disease is affecting, roughly speaking, 500 million people worldwide. Okay. This is due to the fact that, our society is imposing us sedentary works. Again, the average age of the population is increasing, obesity is increasing, and these all factors are playing an important role here. So let us say that these 500 million people would require a treatment. This treatment can be like a couple of self-injection devices per week, like insulin and maybe another drug like a GLP-1 agonist per week. If you multiplied these 500 million people for 2 pence for each person on weekly basis, the result is quite important. So the result is that more than 50 billion pens shall be available on the market on a yearly basis. And this number will increase for sure.
Okay. So Filippo, based on everything that we discussed, where is Steriline currently focusing? And what are the main technologies that you are working on?
Okay, so Steriline, let us say from a general perspective, it is focusing on two different and parallel, would say, portfolio of machines and solutions. So on one side, we have the first technology that when flexibility and zero rejects are required, okay, due to the fact that the product is very costly. On the other side, we have the traditional machines, so mechanical machines that are much more faster in terms of throughput, less flexible, and they are very much indicated when high production volume are in the picture. Okay. So coming back to the previous example, in the context of chronic diseases and the pen device and self-injection device, let us say that Steriline is playing in between these two parallel portfolio in order to address this new demand. So basically, we are developing new technologies that are both suitable for high speed, high production, high throughput. On the other side, are very flexible. Okay, so flexibility is given in the sense that on the same platform, on the same line, customer and pharmaceutical companies can process different variety of containers.
Thank you very much, Filippo, for being with us today and for all the insights and data that you've given. I'm sure it will be of great value for the viewers at Hello Pharma. And thank you again for your time and good luck.
Thank you very much, Hello Pharma, and thanks for this kind of opportunity. It was very nice, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.